Hey friends, glad to see you back here again today. And listen, I am so excited about publishing content on social media. And I can't believe I'm even saying that because I struggled with it for years. Hey, I'm Ken. I used to be a homicide detective. I was a cop for over 15 years and I got sick of it. When I found out I was going to become a dad, I needed to make a change. In the last 15 years, I've started 4 different businesses in 4 different industries and they've made a lot of money. This channel is dedicated to showing people exactly how to build an 8-figure coaching business. Every single part of it. I love teaching people how to write books, how to get your books traditionally published, how to turn those books into 7-figure coaching businesses, and you're going to find all that information right here. Listen, if you're a coach, a consultant, an online entrepreneur, or anybody that is trying to sell anything, if you're trying to build a following online, then you already know that you should be publishing content on social media. But the struggle that people have is that it's so overwhelming. There's so many different platforms. Think about where you're watching this video right now. It could be on YouTube, it could be on Twitter, it could be on Instagram, it could be on LinkedIn, it could be on any one of my 5 Facebook pages or my 7 Facebook groups. It's crazy. And I struggled with it forever. It was so nuts. In fact, to be honest with you, I started my online business about 16 years ago. And it was shortly after I started my business that I joined Russell Brunson's inner circle. And I've been learning from Russell for years. It's been an unbelievable experience to even be around the guy as he's grown his company. But one of the very first things that Russell started talking about in the inner circle, and I felt like it was shooting right at me, was the importance of getting into consistently publishing on social media. And I remember people asking him, where should we be publishing? What's the right way to do that? He said, everywhere, all the time. Be publishing constantly, getting new content out there as much as humanly possible. And I don't remember what the reaction from other people in the room was, but for me, it was like, crap, I got to find some other way to do this. I just don't want to do it. I get it. I see that's important. I'm sure you do too. I'm sure you understand the importance of publishing on social media, but it's so freaking overwhelming. And it's not even about creating the content. It's what you got to do. For a YouTube video alone, you got to put a little commercial at the beginning. You got to have an offer. You got to have a call to action. You got to make sure your video is structured properly. You got to do posts. You got to put little words on your golly gee. So I just said, about 6 years ago, I said, screw it. I need to start investigating paid advertising. See, maybe I can do this easier. Maybe I can build my business with Facebook ads. And I went down that road and it was painful, but I literally cracked the nut on it. It took me about 2.5 years and my business started to scale with Facebook ads. And we started making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in income just from Facebook and Instagram ads. And the whole time I'm doing it, every once in a while, I'd hear Russell in my mind again, right? You got to publish on social media. You got to create content on social media. And I'd start to do it again. But I'd be so sporadic about it and it wouldn't be consistent. I'd do my YouTube channel for a little while and I'd do my podcast for a little while. I created them all. I had a podcast out there that wasn't working well. I had a blog that wasn't working well. I had a YouTube channel that wasn't working well. And I didn't even realize my business was suffering because of it, because the ads were bringing in so much revenue. And then about a year ago, you guys all remember this, the iOS 14 debacle happened. Apple released upgrades to their phone that allowed people to opt out of advertising, and it completely screwed up Facebook's algorithms, and at the end of the day, it near bankrupted me. It's painful to tell you this because it wasn't that long ago, but my business went from hundreds of thousands of dollars a month to tens of thousands of dollars a month overnight. And I have people that work for me, and it was just ugly. And then it was really crazy because at that same time, I heard Russell's voice again. You got to publish on social media. And so I decided to go back and revisit everything he told me. And I started publishing content on social media. And it was still just as painful. It was taking me 4 hours a day. But I had to do it because revenue was suffering so much. I had to recreate the flow of income. And the way I do it, the way you do this in social media, because we're not going to talk about this today in too much detail, but get a single link. So find an entry-level product. If you're trying to build any type of online business, number one, if you're trying to build any type of online business, subscribe to my YouTube channel, because there's hundreds of videos there that anything you want to know about building a business online, it's all there for you. But one of the most important things that you need to keep in your mind about building an online business is to have a single tip of spear front end offer that people buy to join your ecosystem. And then from there, you can upsell them into other things. Fastest way to build a business, which that means is you can have a single link in all of your social media content. And that's what started to happen. I was working 4 or 5 hours a day in publishing content, but I did start to see revenue start growing again. It was encouraging. I had a single link in every post, and it said, hey, you want to learn how to write a book? Click on this link and watch the workshop. And it's a automated workshop that it's a presentation I did live at one point in the past, but now it's automated. And people click on the link, they sign up to watch it at their leisure, and then 10% of them buy a program for $697. And it works. And our revenue is starting to climb again. By summer, I was back up to 6 figures every month, but it was freaking killing me. And what I did is in August, I sat back and I looked back at everything that I was doing, and I asked myself a simple question that changed my business, finally getting me back on track and freeing me up. It was painful. I asked myself, how can I release the pressure from myself? How can I automate this? And I started studying the automation of publishing content and a whole bunch of different tools that I use now today, and systems that I have in place. But listen, now today, it's not that far down the road from when all this happened. I only publish 3 videos a week. Well, I don't even publish them. I create 3 videos a week just sitting at my desk in my home office. And those videos turn into 3 YouTube shows a week, 3 podcast shows a week, 3 blog articles a week, and over 200 social media posts a week. And I go live with that video I create. So those 3 videos, each of them I go live with it on 12 different social media pages and 4 different Facebook groups. And you know the best part? It's all automated. The only part I do is record the videos with either my phone or staring at my webcam like I'm doing right now. No pressure anymore. It takes me 30 minutes a week. Hey, as a shameless plug, if you want to learn how to do that, then go into the show's notes, go to kendunn.com/content automation and check out the masterclass that I have there. Anyway, now I'm teaching this system to hundreds and hundreds of people just like you, and I'm realizing that there's some simple mistakes that most people make who are trying to create momentum publishing content on social media, and I want to go over them with you today. The first mistake that people make is they don't have a clear plan. If you're going to master social media publishing, content publishing, and use organic social media posting to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue for your business, the smartest thing, the biggest mistake people make is they don't have a plan. They don't have a consistent publishing plan in place. So how do you do that? Well, the very first step, and this is going to make you roll your eyes, but it's crucially important, you got to know who you're publishing for. You got to take the time just to step back and say, okay, who's my ideal client? Who is it that I absolutely, this is the persona of the person that is my dream client. You got to know who that is. And then you got to create a content calendar. Now, the easiest way to do that is to say, okay, if that person came into my life for 30 days and I had to teach them everything I know to get them to the outcome that I'm promising them, what are the steps that I would go through in that journey? Those steps, friends, they become the content that you're going to publish. Now, you're probably going to have 8 or 10 steps in your plan. On that masterclass I was telling you about, kendunn.com/content automation, I explained to you how to dig into each of those steps and how to figure out what are 10 to 12 sub-steps in each step, and each of those become a single topic for content publishing. It's called a content calendar. The next thing that you want to do after that is you ask yourself, where's my avatar hanging out? And decide right up front what social media platforms are going to be part of your content automation process. Because you can automate you can bring any social media platform that you think is important into my automated content loop, which, of course, if you go to that masterclass, I'll show you exactly how that works and you'll learn this. But you got to know where your avatar is hanging out, right? There's no sense publishing content on a platform if your ideal client isn't there. And if you just take the time to plan that stuff out before you start publishing content, it'll change everything for you. The second mistake, I got a visitor. I've got these two crazy golden retrievers that like to hang out here in my office with me sometimes. Sorry about that. The second mistake people make, they spend more than 30 minutes a week publishing content. And I can say that firsthand because I was making that mistake. I was literally spending 4 hours a day to publish content before I realized what tools were available and what systems I could use to automate everything. Once I knew what those systems were and what I could automate, I literally spent less than 30 minutes a week publishing content on social media today, and it's changed everything. Lastly, the third mistake of the big three, they don't have a call to action. You don't have a call to action. Friends, I don't want you publishing content on social media just to be an entertainment piece for somebody that's out there in the universe. Put a link in every post. Have a clear call to action. That means you got to get organized in your business and know exactly what you do for people. Like, you got to have a business plan, but if you have a business plan, it's easy for you to say, okay, what's the tip of the spear? What's the most logical first thing I want them to buy? Right across my entire company, right across my ecosystem. And when you know what that thing is, make sure there's a really good, attractive product that brings people into your ecosystem. Get it all set up online, have a single link, and put that link in everything. Using my auto content loop, I publish over 300 pieces of content every week. 3 podcast shows, 3 YouTube shows, 3 blog articles, and hundreds of pieces of content. And every single piece of content in the whole thing has a link to my Writing Madly system. I teach people to write books. I offer a product where people can come to a writing weekend and they can write books with us. And then I even publish the books for them. And that offer is $697. And in all of my content, you're going to see a link to that offer, or you're going to see a link to the program I'm talking to you about today, the auto content loop. If you want to know more about this strategy, then do yourself a favor. Click on the link in the notes or go to kendunn.com/content automation and check out that masterclass. I'll lay the whole system out there for you so you can avoid these mistakes in your own business.